Helljumpers, Chapter 7, Preparations. Exhaustion. It was something Rainbow Dash had become all too familiar with over the last 2 months. Her job as head Ponyville's weather patrol, and her entry into the Wonderbolt's flight academy would have been tiresome for any Pegasus. But next to those two things, Rainbow also managed to find the time to look for her missing sister and friend. She had already scoured the massive area surrounding Ponyville and Canterlot, and by now, she had expanded her search area to the Manhattan coastline. But even she had to have some rest after so many hours of searching, and she finally headed home. Arriving at her cloud home in Ponyville, she landed right at the front door and stumbled inside onto a couch.
Rainbow darling, is that you?
A voice with a distinct Canterlot accent came out of the kitchen.
Yeah, it's me, Rarity.
Rainbow called back, begrudgingly getting off the couch and walking into the kitchen, where she found Rarity sitting at her dinner table wearing a necklace enchanted with a cloud-walking spell Twilight had made. With a necklace getting into the house, it would have been easy since Dash had lowered the house and built a staircase for Scoots. She had been so excited about it.
I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty to clean your kitchen while I waited for you.
Rarity motioned to the rest of her kitchen that was now in a pristine condition, and Rainbow hadn't cleaned it in a long time.
Oh, well, thanks for that. But that's not why you're here, is it?
Rainbow said, slightly annoyed due to her tiredness, as she took a seat across the table from Rarity.
No. It's not. I'm here for you. I and the others have been getting more and more concerned about your searches. We're afraid that you're burning yourself out completely. You can't even take care of yourself properly anymore. Just look at the state of yourself or the state I found your kitchen in.
Rarity was right. Rainbow looked like a flying disaster. Her mane was completely disheveled, bags adorned her eyes, and her coat had patches of mud stuck into it.
I'm fine. I'm really busy.
Rainbow did not like how Rarity had insinuated that she couldn't take care of herself.
No, you're not, and I'm not the only one who's seen it. The princesses also have concerns about you,
Rarity countered.
So, what, trying to find my friend and sister shouldn't take priority over anything else I should do? Do you even care? Rainbow Dash, don't you dare say that I, or anyone else for that matter, don't care!
Rarity shouted, very unladylike.
Tell me, do you know when Pinky's last party was? No, you don't, because you haven't been to Ponyville and Celestia knows how long. Pinky hasn't thrown a party since Twilight and Scootaloo disappeared. Oh, and that's not even all. Fluttershy had just about locked herself up in her cottage. She only comes out to feed her animals, and I haven't had a spa day with her in weeks. Oh, then there's Applejack. If you thought she was a workaholic before than you haven't seen her now. Oh, and the Crusaders have stopped crusading without Scootaloo. Moving on. Oh, then we have Spike. He has been blaming himself for what has happened at the library all this time. He hasn't been himself in a long time. He doesn't even have an appetite for gems.
Rarity ranted on and on.
And then there's you. You've been trying your hardest to commit suicide by exhaustion doing something the guard could do 10 times more efficient than you ever can.
Rarity stopped to let her rant sink into Rainbow. Rainbow didn't know what to say. She had let her friends down when they needed her the most. What a brilliant element of loyalty she was.
Rainbow, Princess Luna made a proposal you should take a look at.
Rarity pulled a document with a royal seal stamped on it and gave it to Rainbow Dash.
Princess Celestia told me that Spitfire has been complaining about your performance in the academy, but she knows that she just can't kick out the fastest flyer in Equestria. First mare to produce a sonic rain boom. Oh, and the element of loyalty. The political backlash would be enormous.
Rainbow put the document back onto the table and looked Rarity straight into the eyes.
So, you and the princess want me to join the Night Guard?
Her voice sounded bitter.
Give up my dream of becoming a Wonderbolt? Read the second document, darling.
Rarity said as she levitated the second paper on top.
So, Princess Luna said that you were something called a lucid dreamer, and it means that you have complete control over your dreams. Your ability to fall asleep almost anywhere on command is apparently also part of it. Wait, you can't do that? Oh, no. It's apparently a very rare ability in the first step of dreamwalking, which is part of the second proposal. By joining the Night Guard, the princess will teach you how to walk the dreamscape with her, so you can search for Twilight and Scootaloo in a place no guard can look. And when you're awake, you can be here in Ponyville with us, since Luna wanted a few night guards alongside of day guards stationed in Ponyville anyway. It would also do wonders for the morale of the others if they have it. But that still means I have to give up the bolts, Rarity. No, you won't. Princess Luna assured me that she would release you from your vows if either Spitfire deems you capable for the bolts, or Twilight gets found and you want to quit, and if Spitfire deems you capable, you'll be transferred to the bolts from the Lunar Guard with whatever rank you have achieved there.
Rarity explained, Rainbow now seriously contemplating if she should take the deal. Her searches weren't getting any results, and with the Night Guard, she would get experience valuable for the bolts.
Well, oh wait, okay, so what about the Weather Patrol in Ponyville? Who would take over the captain's positions? Well, Thunderlane has already expressed interest in the position, so if you left, he would probably get it.
Rarity answered, having already visited Mayor Mare to see if Rainbow leaving the weather team would be an issue.
You don't have to decide immediately. Whenever you've made your decision, just come over to the boutique so you can send a message via Spike.
Rarity said as she walked to the front door.
You should get some sleep. And a shower. You really do look terrible, dear.
With that, Rarity left the house, leaving Rainbow with the documents and a decision to make.
So, we're gonna do nothing.
Twilight almost shouted into Mac's face. After the alarms went off, the two ponies had made a beeline back to the barracks to meet up with the rest of the ODSTs. The only thing we know is that there's Covenant activity somewhere on the planet. We can't counter an enemy if we don't know what kind of numbers they have, or for that matter, where they are in the first place. Recon will do its thing, Twilight, and after they're finished, you can be sure that they're gonna send us to kick the bastards off the planet. To Twilight's annoyance, his argument made sense.
Then, okay, what are we gonna do?
Well, we're heading to Fort York to meet up with a part of the 65th Shock Troop Division, Mac answered. Departure is in an hour, so have everything packed and be ready before then.
Mac, the little stuff we own is already packed into the saddlebags,
Scootaloo stated.
We're good to go at the drop of a hat. Then make sure you don't miss the ride, Scoots. I wouldn't want to leave my co-pilot behind,
Zoe responded. With all exercises dropped, the group packed all items they needed, and at 1700 hours, the loaded Pelican took off towards Fort York. Scootaloo and Lucy were going over some in-flight procedures while Twilight was writing up some reports for the Council.
15 minutes until arrival,
Zoe called out from the cockpit.
We're gonna get a lot of weird looks, aren't we?
Twilight grumbled, not really in the mood to get stared at. Oh, cut them some slack, Twilight. Those guys have never seen aliens that don't want to kill them, so it's not like they don't have any reason to be suspicious of you two, Tyler replied to Twilight. After a few more minutes of silence, Zoe started talking to Tower Control of Fort York, and a few minutes after that, the Pelican touched down at a designated landing zone and shut the engines down before opening the ramp on the back of the craft. At the foot of the ramp, an officer with a small squad of Marines was waiting for the group. Sergeant Cross, I've got orders here from HICOM to house 2 non-hostile aliens on my base. I would like to know if they will cause problems here, the officer told Mac. Sir, they won't give you any trouble. I'll make sure of that. Good. Now, I want to meet the aliens that have been throwing High Command into disarray. Mac nodded. Private Sparkle, Hurricane, get down here, he shouted into the Pelican where the rest of the squad had remained after seeing the officer. The 2 ponies came trotting down the ramp towards the officer, and the Marines accompanying him all tensed up.
Sir!
Both ponies snapped a salute and standing at attention. At ease, ladies, I just wanted to see the first aliens that don't want to kill us. Naval Intelligence didn't give us a lot of information on you two, so I just wanted to see you in person, he told the 2 ponies. Anyway, the Marines here will escort you to your designated barracks. Tomorrow there will be a large-scale exercise to keep everyone on their toes. Meanwhile, please try to avoid conflicts on the base. Not everyone might be as civil with you two due to our current predicament. After which he nodded to one of the Marines and walked off. Sergeant, would you and your squad please follow us? The particular Marine seemed happy to see that they weren't alone against the Covenant, but a few of the others were visibly displeased that they were going to have to play nice with the aliens present. Although it was getting late in the evening, there were still a lot of soldiers walking around and working. Only a few spotted Twilight and Scootaloo. Most reactions were just a confused stare, but a few looked as if they were disgusted by the ponies. Arriving at the barracks, the group quickly unpacked everything they had with them.
So, what are we gonna do now?
Twilight asked. Well, we could hit E-Bar, Tyler suggested. Haven't had a good drink ever since we picked you guys up.
Well, remember the part where we got told to not look for trouble?
Twilight replied.
And I don't really drink anyway.
Wait, what? What? You don't drink? Okay, that's gonna change tonight, Tyler shouted.
I agree with Tyler.
Lucy also chiming in.
You at least had to have been shit-faced drunk once. Okay, fine, but I'm not gonna drink anything.
Twilight relented, already thinking up of all the possible ways this could go wrong.